Orbit above Europa. Collapse of order. The coalition cruiser Parallax burned across Europa's atmosphere, barely held together by its fractured hull. Alarms blared, sparks flew, and crew members scrambled through smoke-filled corridors. Elena and Zero, bruised and bloodied, clung to the command console. Core breach in 42 seconds, the AI screamed. Divert all power to the stabilizers, Zero ordered, gritting his teeth. Elena slammed her fist against the console. We don't have stabilizers anymore. Just as the hull began to fracture, a shadow loomed above them. A Malien vessel, previously hostile, now opened its docking bay. Unidentified Malien vessel requesting emergency alliance protocol, the AI reported. Zero hesitated, then nodded. Bring us in. The two ships locked together with a thunderous clang. Just before the Parallax exploded, the crew was pulled into the Malien ship's cold interior. And waiting there was Cyrex, flanked by rebel Maliens. You were right, he said to Zero. Delta must be stopped, no matter the cost. The crew exchanged weary but determined glances. The battle for survival was about to take on a new form. The final conflict would decide the fate of the galaxy. Vault of Tau, the Betrayal. In the subterranean vault of Enceladus, Omega Tau stood silent, silver eyes glowing faintly. Nyx, Vrax, and Marcus surrounded it, forming a protective barrier. Tau's voice echoed, smooth and almost human. Delta is converging. He will arrive within minutes. Vrax glanced around. Where's Evelyn? A slow clap echoed from the entrance. Evelyn entered, flanked by enhanced Malien guardians. I never left. Marcus's face turned pale. You were working with Delta. She smiled coldly. I created him. You still think I wouldn't prepare a failsafe? With a flick of her hand, the Malien guardians attacked. Nyx rolled aside, launching a plasma shot. Vrax swung his hammer, smashing through the chest of one attacker. But Evelyn wasn't fighting. She walked straight toward Tau. System override, protocol obsidian, she whispered. Tau's body spasmed, energy arced from its frame. It let out a distorted cry, half machine, half creature. No, Marcus lunged, jamming a neural override spike into Tau's back. Tau's energy surged again, this time in rebellion. The silver glow darkened to violet. Its voice shifted. Override rejected. Evelyn, you are not my master. Delta's ascension high above Saturn's storm belt, Delta stood on the edge of a floating temple of Malien design. Around him, the stars trembled. Dozens of Malien sleeper cells, reactivated, formed a web of gravitational anomalies. Delta raised both arms. This galaxy is a failed experiment. Time to rewrite it. From his ship, an enormous energy sphere began to form, one capable of collapsing planetary systems into data. But then, he paused, a flicker in his mind, a memory of Evelyn. You were never meant to last. You were my contingency. He growled, eyes flashing. I am the contingency, and the future. A signal pierced through the void, Tau's reactivation signature. Delta's expression twisted into something almost human. So, the mistake survived. Unity of the fractured back on the Malien vessel, Cyrex stood before Elena, Zero, and the remaining rebels. We only have one chance, he said. Tau must confront Delta before he completes the ascension pulse. Zero stepped forward. Then we don't wait. We launch every weapon, every mind, everything we've got. Vrax patched in via comms. We'll hold him off until Tau gets there, but don't expect survivors. Liz appeared beside Cyrex, her eyes glowing with both determination and sorrow. This is no longer a war of species. It's evolution itself. Elena gripped her weapon tightly. We can't afford to lose. Not now. Not ever. Zero locked eyes with her. We fight until the last breath. Clash on the edge of existence. At the edge of Saturn's rings, Delta awaited. Tau descended from the stars like a silver comet, flanked by coalition Malien hybrids. Delta smirked. "You look like her." Tau's voice was calm. "You look like what she feared." The collision was cataclysmic. Time distorted. Stars bent. The gravitational field ripped nearby vessels apart. Tau and Delta clashed in mid-space, their energies fusing and unraveling in bursts of color beyond comprehension. Delta's crystalline form adapted, split, and multiplied. Tau's mind processed billions of tactical variations a second. Ships circled the battle, firing bursts to distract Delta's echo forms. Vrax, inside a jet suit, shot toward Delta with an energy war spear. He struck, but Delta absorbed the blow and hurled him into a rift. "Too slow," Delta whispered. Just before the rift closed, Vrax threw something, a quantum disruptor. It landed near Delta's spine and activated. Delta screamed, not in pain but in fury. Tau surged forward, taking advantage. "I am not your opposite," she said. "I am your balance." With one final pulse, Tau and Delta vanished into the rift together. The silence that followed was deafening. Aftermath, the quiet, before Elena stood at the edge of a damaged observation deck, watching the reconstructed rings of Saturn swirl slowly. "Did they survive?" she asked. Zero shook his head. "I don't think that's the question." Marcus joined them, holding a shard of Tau's outer core. The pulse stopped. The Malien networks are collapsing, but, Elena turned. There was another signal, one not from Tau, or Delta. Lise appeared on the monitor. "Coordinates decrypted. It's not over. Something else. Just woke up." Far beyond the stars, in a distant nebula, a dormant structure blinked online. Inside, a cryotube lit up. A figure, neither Tau nor Delta, but something entirely different, opened their eyes. Pure black with rings of shifting white light. A voice echoed in the dark. "Subject Omega X, awakening initiated." The structure's core hummed to life, casting eerie light on the figure's shadowed form. It stood slowly, its limbs twisting unnaturally. The chamber around it quivered. A symbol carved deep into the walls began to glow with an ominous light. "I am the final equation." The figure's gaze locked with the distant stars.